Okay, multiplying fractions. This works whether you have a whole number in a fraction or whether you have two fractions, okay? Because you can put a whole number over one also. So step one is to multiply the numerators. And are the numerators the top or the bottom? So for example, we have 4 over 6 times 8 over 9. So when I multiply my numerators, or my two top numbers, what's 4 times 8?
4 times 8. That's 32.
32. Four times 8 is 32.
4.
Okay. Step 2, we're going to multiply the denominators. That might be an E that's supposed to go there. I'm not 100% sure. And these are the bottoms of the fractions.
I didn't get the top one because I forgot to put the top.
Well, what's the top two numbers multiplied together? Okay, so when we multiply the two numbers on the bottoms, what is 6 times 9?
54.
And we already said the top two is what?
32.
32.
36.
So now we have 32 over 54. Oops. So our last step is going to be to simplify. Or reduce, right? Because we know simplify and reduce is the same thing. So we ended up with 32 over 54. You just multiply straight across. You may hear it said like that some, because some people like to say you just multiply straight across. That means you multiply the top times the top and you multiply the bottom times the bottom. Okay? And then all you have to do is simplify your answer if you can simplify it. So does anything divide into both 32 and 54 that we know of?
No.
Okay? It's kind of hard to think off the top of your head. But always try 2 first, because if the numbers are both even, then we know 2 works, right? Are both of these numbers even?
Yes.
Yes, so we know we can divide 2 into both of them. $32 divided by 2 is going to give me what? And 54 divided by 2.
27.
It's 27. Now, does anything go into both of these? No, because the only thing that goes into 16 is 4 and 2 and 8. So we multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms, and then simplify. Pretty simple? Okay, let's do some practice problems. One half times 8 over 11. So I start by multiplying the tops, which gives me
8 and 22.
and 2 times 11 is 22. Does that simplify at all?
2.
They're both divisible by 2. What's 8 divided by 2?
4.
And 22 divided by 2?
11.
Does that simplify?
Yes, it is.
No, because 11 is prime.
What does that mean?
Okay, so now let's do 4 over 7 times 7 over 8. 4 over 7 times 7 over 8. 4 times 7?
28. 56.
And 7 times 8 is?
You count out random numbers.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Alright, what goes into both 28 and 56?
2.
We could start with 2. Is there anything else we can start with?
7.
7. Okay, so start with 7.
Then you just end up with the same.
What's 28 divided by 7?
4.
And 56 divided by 7?
8.
And then those are both divisible by
2.
2 or 4.
Yeah, how would you? So it is 1/2, but Meow.
So it is 1/2. Don't.
Okay.
Oh, we went.
Next one. 1 and 2/5. What do we do when we have an improper fraction?
You turn it regular.
We turn it into a mixed number. I'm sorry.
Wait, mixed numbers.
This is a mixed number. We're going to turn it into an improper fraction because we cannot multiply straight across with a whole number. Okay, so yes, some of you may be able to look at this and tell, okay, I need a fraction that equals 1 and 2/5. So I'm going to make my 1 5/5. And I have 5/5 and 2/5. That's going to give me 7/5. The trick to this is, y'all remember at the beginning of the year when I taught you about the little Texas?
Yes.
No.
Okay, if you don't remember, because we just barely touched on it. Texas is this.
Big.
Oh, yeah, you add
Okay, little t, little x for Texas.
Oh, I remember that.
Remember, we have to multiply before we can add. So we're going to multiply. 5 times 1 is, plus 2 is. That's our new numerator. Our denominator stays the same. So 1 and 2/5 is the same as 7/5.
What do we have a different bill on it?
Now we can multiply straight across. 7 times 4 is.
28.
And 5 times 7 is.
Divisible by 7.
And these can again be divided by 7. We know 2 doesn't work because they're not both even. And what's 28 divided by 7? And 35 divided by 7? And our answer would be 4/5. Okay, let's do 1/10 times 25/10.
25 and 100.
Okay, do this one on your own. Check it with mine. This one should be very easy. Don't shut out. Give others a chance to work it out for themselves. Please don't make me call out your name while I'm recording this video. One-fourth?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Yes, sir.
This isn't very on topic, but I remember. Do you refill people's glue?
Yes, but not when I'm in the middle of doing something. Okay. 4/5 times 8/12. 4/5 times 8/12. Or 4 over 5 times 8 over 12. 4 times 8? 32.
32.
And 5 times 12?
66.
60. And are they both divisible by anything?
2.
2. They are even numbers. What's 32 divided by 2? 16. And 60 divided by 2 is 30. So do they simplify again?
Yes.
Yes. Now we can divide by 2 again. 16 divided by 2.
8.
And 30 divided by 2.
15.
Does it get smaller?
Is that what prom thing?
No, neither of those numbers is prime. They're not divisible by the same thing. 15 is only also divisible by 3 and 5. And neither one of those goes into 8. 8 is only 2 and 4.
It can only have to be divided by one number in itself.
Okay, and the last one. What do I do with that mixed number?
We Texas.
We're going to change it to an improper fraction.
Little thing.
And we can do the Texas trick, the little Texas trick. What I mean by little is you're using little numbers. You're not using capital numbers. So little t, little x, because that gives us that plus and that multiplication. Okay, so then 7 times 3 is? And 21 plus 3? 24. So we have 24 over 7. If you don't know what 24 times 6 is, you can come over to the side and work it out. I'm getting 144. Is that what y'all got?
No, I got 184.
Payson.
Because 6 times 4 is 24, and 2 times 6 equals. Never mind.
Okay, and 7 times 8 is?
56.
Okay, and these are both divisible by 2, which will give us what? 72 over 28. — 72 divided by 2 is going to give us 36. 28 divided by 2 will give us 14. 2 again, right?
6. No. 2.
So 18 over 7.
And then we're done.
Or it could be, what, 2 and 2 sevenths? 7, 14. 2 and 4 sevenths. You won't usually see one this hard. So either 18 over 7 or 2 and 4 sevenths.